Greetings Namibia, and welcome to another educational insightful episode of On the Farm. Today we're taking a different twist. We're being graced by the presence of the Inspector General of the Namibian Police, Lieutenant General Joseph Shikongo. Thank you so much, sir, for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome, and good morning.
Good morning. So today we're going to be speaking a bit about stock theft, the scourge of stock theft in Namibia. Could you kindly paint the picture for us about stock theft?
The stock theft is one of the crime, but just before, perhaps I should just indicate that the mandate of the Namibian, or the functions or mandate of the Namibian Police Force, number one is the preservation of internal security of Namibia. Number two is the maintenance of law and order. Number three is the investigation of offense or alleged offense. Number four is the prevention of crime. And number five is protection of life and property. And then we went on further to expand our pillars. That's according to our strategic objectives, where we are talking about effective policing. That's number one. Number two is talking about building partnership. And then number three is talking about organizational excellence. And those things result and they reflect on what we are doing on a daily basis. Crime concern, I will not mention all. I should just say Namibia being an agriculture country where our people depended, more especially the rural communities, and then the farming are dependent on livestock. And hence we regard stock theft as one of our crime concern, and it affects the large part of our population. In farming community, you are talking about the communal communities, then you are talking about the rural communities. I just returned from a trip where I visited quite a number of regions, more particularly Kavango West, Kavango East, and Zambezi. And those are not the only regions that are affected by stock theft. In recent times, I had meetings with the farmers in Ochujonjupa. One of the meetings was held at Koi Guest House between Otavi and Chuarongo. The other one was held at Otongwe, guest house or a lodge in Ocho. The other one was held in number of meetings were held in Omitala, and Ochujonjupa and Omaheke, Kunene, part of Kunene, and obviously you go to Oshikoto, the areas of Mangete, Lavi. You go to Kavango West, Kavango East, then partly the areas of held-up regions, more particular the areas of Ranos, the Riobot, and then a little bit you go further. Those are the areas that are affected. And what we are discussing on that issue with our engagement in the community is really to come up with measures. First of all is the Namibian police to be on the ground. Number two is to increase our level of intelligence collections to get to the bottom of the whole issue where this crime is coming from.
Thank you so much, IG. Let's now talk about the statistics regarding stock theft. I think 2 months ago you furnished the nation with stats regarding about 24,000 cases of stock theft that have transpired within a 2-year period. That's quite alarming. And from your analysis, what could be the cause of this?
There are a number of causes why people why increase or there's such a lot of cases of stock theft. In the first place, there is a market where people are buying the meat. Secondly, it's an issue of education. People just to understand the value of a farmer. That you are being a farmer, for you to have these animals, you worked for it. But there are people who, I can give you an example of somebody who can today just walk in a farmer, and the best bull that you bought for a price of 75,000, we just slaughter it. Sometimes they don't care whether they've killed an animal or they've injured, because if you go to most of the stock theft cases, you will find really most of the animals are just injured. Some of them, they are even injured the animal by even just sticking anything on the body of the animal, whether it's in the eyes, whether it's in the wherever they are putting it. And sometimes they leave them there wounded. And just talk of your bull, the best bull that you bought for over 75,000. The other issue that you're also looking at is the issue of Kapana, these open markets that are all over. The unregistered butcheries that are found in our cities and our villages. And the other, you just find somebody slaughter a cow or a carcass of a cow or a goat and they start selling it in the open market. And there are no papers. Now, in the olden days, these things are regulated, more particularly if you are selling meat. Your headmen, the Treasury Authority, they had hands on it. But currently, it looks like they do not have that power of asking where did you get. And this issue of democracy, you ask somebody where did you get a cattle, knowing that somebody does not even own a chicken, but somebody is coming to sell the whole carcass of a cow. Where did you get it? So those are the issues that actually the market, we must kill the market first of all. And then from there we must then educate our people on the value of the animal. Dry meat, that if you pass through Otavi today and the Chuarongo, every day there are people, women from probably poor background that are selling meat every day, whether they are representing entities or bodies of organizations, we do not know. And I think that's where as a nation where we need to get all of us to establish where these people get meat every day. And when you go to Chuarongo or you go to Otavi, you can get whatever type of meat. If you want the Norex, you want a kudu, you want whatever type of meat you want, it will be available. Where do they get this meat every day? So I think those are the issues. Once we deal with the issue of the dry meat that we are selling, to make sure that everybody who is selling dry meat is jury authorized to have papers indicating where you get the meat. I think we will be able to get to the bottom of the issue. And this thing is a policy and a judicial issue where we need to make some amendment on our legislations. I think we will address the issue once we get to the bottom of that. And Namibian stop selling is buying meat. You find somebody's coming up, bringing the meat here, within 2 hours the meat is finished. I think those are the issues.
Thanks so much, IG. I'm glad you spoke about the judicial process and how it collaborates with the law enforcement, but we'll get a bit more into that a bit later on. Let's now talk about the strategies the police force is employing in combating stock theft. Yes,
our strategy, the Namibian police strategy, is indeed is yielding some good results. On the 5th of March 2020, the Namibian Police Force, by then retired Lieutenant General Sebastian Itunga, who has retired last year, signed on behalf of the Namibian Police a memorandum of understanding between two entities. One is Namibia Agriculture Union, and the other one is Namibia Emerging Farmers Union, which is the one now is headed by Mr. Peter Gous, and the other one for the small emerging farmers union is headed by the president of that organization is Madam or Dr. Ngifindaka, Sondafa Ngifindaka. This is very significant because after we signed, the copy of that MOU is here, and I recall at some point we called all this union to come together with us and we worked out the strategy. And one of the strategies we are talking about under that MOU is to develop the rural strategies in combating stock theft. And we said that the regional commanders of the Namibian police should be the owner. They should own the process. And this year, we invited the conference that comprised the two unions and the Namibian police. We invited all the regional commanders to come over. And the unions, they also contributed about 50,000 Namibian dollars towards the hosting of the event. And that event, it was a success. And we have requested that both parties, the farmers union and then the Namibian police, should play a part in the whole issue. And I think those are some of the strategies that we are enforcing. These are the strategies that we are working on. And we said, farmers union, call your farmers, talk to them, counting of their livestock in the farms. patrolling their farms, clearance of the farms. I think those are some of the issues that are assisting us to work together and ensure that we reduce stock theft in our country.
Now, in the police force quest to combat stock theft, what are some of the challenges the force has been facing?
Yes, the challenges that the organization is faced with. First of all, you find people that are frustrated and they do not even want to open cases. People are losing their livestock, but then some of them said, what's the use for you to open a case? Because at the end of the day, the same suspect that were involved, you find them roaming the street. And most of the time when we go to them, they said, look, what we need to do is perhaps to bring in the judicial, the prosecution should come in place, so that at the end of the day, we discuss in a holistic manner. Because sometimes you find the police have arrested or apprehended the suspect, and then you will hear somebody who killed a bull of over 40 or 50,000, or a cattle of value. I recall I went to Kamanyab, where there was a farmer who lost 58 cattle at one go, and they all slaughtered in his farm. And it was only discovered probably after 3 or 4 weeks. And because that's of lack of patrol, lack of perhaps of going around and check what's happening. And you find sometimes the real suspects are arrested. Information are coming up that lead to the arrest of suspect, but then you will find this person, people are blaming us again. He said, why this person was arrested, and then the person is the street. But if you look at our constitution, it's talking about Article 12, fair trial. That means if the police take a suspect to court, we might take a position to say this person should not be granted bail. But here this person has an option to go to the formal bail application, get his lawyer, and then is now the argument between the defense counsel and the state to prove their reasons why the person should be granted the bail or why the person should not be granted bail. I think those are the issues. I'm sure that you will also come to the question of the fines and punishment. I don't want to touch it now, but I think these are some of the issues that are trending when we are engaging the community. But I think those are the issues that are there.
Do make sure to catch part 2 of this insightful episode with Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force, Lieutenant General Joseph Shikongo. We will also engage with a pool of farmers on their take and experiences with stock theft. On the Farm, your agro-based show dissecting all aspects of crop and animal husbandry, flights every Thursday at 8 p.m.